All right, it's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know what it is. Let's get right into it. All right, so in the headline, I invited people to come in and let me know what they think about if immigration, is something that's truly stealing jobs from people that were born in the country, and why people get so upset when um people suggest or let people come into the country so we can have a diverse nation, whatever country it is. Has it really gotten to the point where, let's say I am Puerto Rican, but let's say it was where I was like, I don't want to deal with anybody else but Puerto Ricans. That's what we're talking about here. Like, you know, it's just crazy. I've said it in a video I posted recently. I have a son who is three nationalities. My wife is two nationalities, none Hispanic, and I'm 100% Puerto Rican. Now you can see that it doesn't bother me at all. Matter of fact, yo, what's good? What's good, Bubbles? How you doing? Barbara in the house. Same to you. Right back at you, Barbara. You already know, man. This is such a good lady for anybody who watches. Barbara is a real friend of mine. She's been down since the beginning, and she definitely gets a certain VIP kind of special treatment when she rolls up. Period. You know what I'm saying? I hope everything's with you and your family. Thanks for the shout out to my brother. Everybody go check out my bro's channel, G'd Up Quinn. You know what I'm saying? He got a good show. He went through some things also. I had told you guys I lost watch hours because I erased broadcasts instead of recordings through StreamYard, and I lost hundreds of hours of watch hours. And then also messing around with AI, I asked the AI if I could turn the videos private and if it wouldn't affect them. And he said it wouldn't. But I got to remember, you got to prompt your AI to go research the World Wide Web, or he'll come with some answer out of his memory bank that could be 2 years old, 3 years old, or he might not even know the answer and spit out something he thinks the answer. So you gotta push the AI to research, or he won't. He'll come with a crazy answer. And I lost hundreds of hours, watch hours over that. So my brother, he had talked about things, on YouTube. It's hard to talk about stuff without, watching yourself. That's what it's become, where when you go on your YouTube channel, you need to watch yourself, or they'll take it from you. They'll silence your voice, and that's their policy. If you want to use a platform as much as you disagree with it or whatever, you got to follow their rules. And that's just what it is. It's the same thing as a job. When you go to a job and you don't, follow the rules, the policy, what your boss wants, he'll fire you. This is a little different because you still get a lot of perks compared to a real 9 to 5, but they're really, really censoring people to the point of saying stuff like unalived and graped. And then meanwhile, I watch regular TV and they're saying stuff like crazy, and it's not a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, definitely, I will. I will shout my lady out for you. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. You know. And then let me highlight that. Let the people know you agree with me. But yeah, they censor everything, bro. You can't say, So, but look, we're gonna get into some videos too, and like I said in the title, I challenge people to come in and talk to me about why they have a problem with multicultural nations and why they think immigrants are stealing all the jobs. I know at one point there was a ton of immigrants in the United States. And if they would have said, immigration's a problem in the United States, at that point, I could, keeping it real, I would have had to say they're not lying. But, it wasn't even about whether it was a problem or it wasn't. It was how they addressed the problem. President Obama had gotten a lot of immigrants out, but he did it the right way, due process. That's not what happened here. So, but anyway, we're gonna get into some videos, and you know what? I'll bring up Makla just because he's the young, not the big homie. Okay, let me see something before I bring up anything. Oh man, what happened to the video? I lost the video. It's all good though. There's a lot of sports stuff going on, but I was gonna talk about politics, so I'm gonna stick to the format. No bailing out. We'll do sports tomorrow. Remember, this is a man cave thing. Like I said, I didn't want to be boxed in on some niche stuff, but when you do multi topics, you get penalized somewhat for it. It's harder for you to get pushed, because people, they said the algorithm don't know where to place you. So, but like I said, I'm not worried about nothing. We're gonna figure it out. First of all, let me see something. All right, you know what? Let's go with this one. This is my man, Dr. Rashad Richey. You already know what it is. So I'm gonna pull this up. My man, Dr. Rashad Richey does not play. So I don't even know what the topic is. But like I said, I trust the OG. See, he's an OG. Makla's a young gun to me. You know what I'm saying? He's a youngin'. But Dr. Rashad Richey's got to be my age. I think he might have me by a year or two. Let's look it up. That's my new thing. If you don't know, just look it up. How old is Dr. Rashad Richey? Oh, he's younger than me. He's younger than me by 5 years. It's crazy. He's very intelligent. That's why, you would maybe wonder if he's older than you because he's very articulate, very intelligent. So let me check this out real quick. We're about to start it up. All right, here we go. Now, mind you, I don't know what this is about. I've seen Hakeem Jeffries before, and he looked like he was doing the right thing at that moment. But we apparently, Dr. Rashad Richey's gonna let us know some stuff.
Democrats, it's time to find a new leader for the Democratic Party. This is me saying this. Your caucus is weak, and the head of that caucus has zero capacity, in my opinion, to lead in this moment. And this is why I'm saying it.
I respect his opinion a lot. So when he's saying that we need a new leader, because at the end of it all, they label me a Democrat, and I'm not trying to hide from the label. I don't even care about it like that. Like, people are crazy, bro. They'll be like, "You Democrat?" I'll be like, "I never said I was Democrat. You said it." But at the end of it all, when I looked up Democrat and democracy, and they go hand in hand. Democracy is for the people, freedom, um, um, just like I said, a lot of it aligns with what I feel, what I believe. So if you want to label me a Democrat, you go right ahead. I'm fine with that. I got a song called Spanish Democrat, so you know what it is from that alone.
Representative Hakeem Jeffries exposed for funneling AIPAC money. Here it is.
A shadow super PAC linked to Hakeem Jeffries is funneling AIPAC money into Valerie Foushee. Let me repeat that again. Hakeem Jeffries is working with AIPAC to attack our candidate, NIDA alum, in her race for North Carolina's 4th Congressional District. Just last night, AIPAC and the AI industry dropped over $2 million into the race.
So NIDA alum gets into the race in December.
Right.
It's gotten to the point where money controls the outcome of elections. A man that campaigns with $1 million running against a man who campaigns with $100 million, it doesn't matter who's more moral. It doesn't matter whose policies are better. It matters that he has $99 million more to spend on shoving himself in people's faces and smearing the other guy. This is where we're at. It has to do with also, like with the YouTube, some people blow up because they do everything right, not because they're better than the other guy. I had to find out the hard way that I got my watch hours erased twice. And you know what it is to lose 600 watch hours? And then later on, you ask the AI if you could turn a video private and if it would still leave the watch hours. It answers yes, even though the answer is no. But without thinking that you're supposed to second guess the AI, you're always supposed to double check, especially important things like that. So like I said, people, and much props to them, because when you go into YouTube, you're supposed to, read the file, read the help me file, read the what is it called, the instruction manual before you jump into things, because that's what happens. The long way is the shortcut is the hard way, always.
December 9th.
Very late.
Yeah.
We started
to get
working with her in
into
July, by the way.
a March primary, right? But almost at the exact same time, there is this commission that Hakeem Jeffries puts together on AI and the innovation economy. And Jeffries appoints Foushee as one of the co-chairs.
This is odd. So the second time it has ever spent any money is this $600,000 on behalf of Foushee. Now, I've been told.
See, while they don't get paid a lot, politicians, they control a lot of bank. So they say where money gets devoted to. And people behind the scenes would say, hey, if you make sure that goes my way, I'll make sure you get this. And a decent amount of stuff like that goes on. I believe, I'm not there, so I'll say allegedly.
Told by sources, some with direct knowledge of this, that this is a Hakeem Jeffries PAC, that Hakeem is guiding this. Now, I've also been told by a source with knowledge of this that it is funneling AIPAC money. So instead of using these Elect Chicago Women PACs, Hakeem Jeffries is setting up a vehicle that is allowing AIPAC money to come through. And we know how they're doing it thanks to Matthew Eady's.
We good now, Barbara? I seen the message. I seen you said I was frozen for a second. We good now? You know what? That's my fault too. Give me 1 second. Let me put my Ethernet cord in. I'm running off of Wi-Fi, and that's not good. It's slower. Hold on 1 second. No. Yeah, look. The Ethernet cord. This is the way stronger way. All right, let me put that in. Put that right there. All right, yeah, we're good now. Now we should be good. All right, guys. Now, let me check the comments real quick. All right, we should be good now. I'm running off of my Ethernet port. We'll see how this goes. Let me hit a refresh on this.
Okay, great. Wait, were you even listening? You haven't taken a single note this entire.
Democrats for 17 years. They must funnel money in of Americans are saying, get rid of them. You finally have the wind against your back, dear brother. It's time to lead if you haven't led before. You have the wind against your back. The vast majority of people are with you. And if you're the people's champ and the sacred thing are the voters that put you there, rather than the special interest groups that you cozy up to.
Told you.
This is an easy decision. It's easy. From Congressman Hank.
See, I used to see Hakeem Jeffries and be like, he looks like a good dude. As a matter of fact, he got into an argument with somebody in one of the places, like the government buildings, the state buildings. It was at maybe in a court, in a courtroom, and in the hallway he gets into an argument. I forgot what it was about, but he looked like he was, on the right side of things. But now, this is a no-go. What Dr. Rashad Ritchie's blowing him up about would make a person who thought Hakeem Jeffries was, doing good things be very disappointed. Would actually probably not mess with him no more.
Hank Johnson to others, they have called for the abolishment of ICE. No reform.
No reform.
And then we find the AIPAC angle. We already knew the brother was compromised on various levels with AIPAC. But AIPAC understands their compromise so much. They are self-aware enough to know that in order to still get their agenda done, they must funnel money in secretive tunnels of finances. They have to hide it from you. Keep the influence. It's called soft influence. Keep the influence steady, but the money, who it came from, is hidden. The agenda is still in play.
Yeah, man. Let me see something real quick. Hakeem Jeffries funneling AIPAC money. Implications. Okay, Jeffries misleads on AIPAC money. I don't know if this is a trusted website, but it says, though Representative Hakeem Jeffries said that AIPAC gives him only the per cycle maximum, the group has flooded his campaign with more than $1 million in earmarked donations. What they're saying is that Hakeem Jeffries is doing things he shouldn't, so he could get that money funneled into his campaign. I believe that's what they're saying. Don't quote me on that.
And the irony that anyone, especially on the left, who would take a damn penny from a lobbying group who supports a man who's a wanted war criminal for crimes against humanity is totally insane to me. Even if you just cite that on the record and say, for that reason alone, I won't accept any money that lobbies on behalf of a government where the leader of that government is, in fact, a current wanted war crime lord.
There you go.
Just that.
Go ahead, doctor.
And keep it moving. At least you'll have some integrity.
Salute.
AIPAC's expressed intent is to lobby on behalf of the Israeli government.
The whole that Israel, I gotta be careful here because this is the type of thing that they'll get at me over if I don't say it correctly. what's going on in Israel regarding Palestinians, the Gaza Strip, and they're saying that it's Hamas, but it's come out that they are not just targeting Hamas. I've seen a woman say that they literally asked her if it was okay to hurt to unalive Palestinian children, and she said, "Go ahead." She said they're just gonna grow up to be Hamas anyway. Now that's a sad day when an older woman, this is like a 60, 70-year old woman, talking about unaliving children's okay if they're Palestinian children because they're just gonna grow up to be Hamas. People have an idea. Some people know what I'm talking about because they seen the same lady say the same thing. She's a disgusting human being. She's a disgusting human being. How are you going to predict what children are going to be? Children are the most beautiful thing on this planet, the most innocent, and you're going to say that it's crazy. I don't want to beat a dead horse. You can see how I feel about that. It bothers me.
For 17 years, Representative Hakeem Jeffries,
17 years.
Democrat of New York, and the minority leader of the Democratic caucus, has been taking pilot meetings with J Street, the center-left lobbying group that promotes a two-state solution in the Middle East. But in all those years of relationship building, Mr. Jeffries never sought the group's endorsement. He was more closely associated with AIPAC, the hardline pro-Israel government lobbying group that has long supported him financially and has in the past discouraged lawmakers it backs from aligning themselves formally with a group that holds a different stance on Israel. That changed in September 2025, when Mr. Jeffries, for the first time, was open to and accepted J Street's official support. It was a coup for J Street, which is highly critical of the current Israeli government and seeking to establish itself as the mainstream voice about Israel on Capitol Hill. Jeffries is so closely associated with the American Israel Public Affairs Committee that the radio host Charlemagne the God recently mocked him as AIPAC Shakur. So the fact that he could take...
I'm not a fan of Charlemagne the God, but, from what I'm hearing, that might have been warranted, if not definitely warranted. AIPAC Shakur.
Such a step is a symbol of a broader sea change occurring in Congress when it comes to Israel and the clout of what has for decades been the most powerful pro-Israel group in American politics.
It's like Israel has say-so regarding things that America have say-so in, or they even, I don't know if it's a request or a demand, but they're in cahoots with each other big time, And like I said, for people out there that say those Americans, we don't make these decisions. Me and Bubbles, we're not making decisions like that for you guys to be mad at me and Barbara over stuff we got no control over. We're not them Americans. We're good people who live in America. We don't got nothing to do with what the guys who are in those powerful spots say or do. You said you're disappointed in him, right? I'm disappointed in him. Yeah, me too. Because he's supposed to be a good guy, and he seems like he's maybe not a good guy. All right, so look, we're gonna stop this for a second. Hopefully, the next one don't freeze up. I have a feeling it had to do with me switching the router and the Ethernet cord right there and then. All right, I wanted to see this one. Big shout out to Big shout out to Rick Strom and the Young Turk Sports. Boomer Esiason, I've been hearing a lot of stuff going on, and he's been going on sports news and saying all sorts of stuff that it don't sound right to me. I don't know about other people, but we're gonna give you guys a taste of what's going on. There's an Olympian that kind of looks at Boomer like he's an idiot, and I'm gonna find out why right now. Usually, sometimes I vet the videos before I share them, but sometimes I just go on and watch them with you guys. So let's see what's going on right here with Boomer Science and bugging out. It says Olympian laughs in Boomer Esiason's face as criticism falls flat. All right, people, here we go.
Mother's Chinese, and a mother is obviously she came here, and I guess there's some loophole that allows her to participate for China, and the Chinese government paid her a lot of money. It's kind of funny that a communist country would pay a woman to be propaganda as a capitalist.
And I heard she got $6 million for going there, and I heard the sponsorship. Over the last year, she got $23 million from different Chinese sponsors.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, so she's a...
First of all, who'd you hear it from? You said it like you heard it from your friend. Like he has inside information on what's going on in the locker rooms of the Olympics. Like, that sounded weird initially. Let's see.
Very, very attractive woman.
This is Boomer Esiason, former NFL player and current radio host, who called out.
Do you see these as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost?
I'm the most decorated female free skier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete.
Yeah, like, we got to get off of that. Yeah, gold is the best. But you got to stop treating these silver medalists and bronze medalists like they ain't the shit. Like, these people go on to become champions. You know how many silver medalists and bronze medalist boxers have went on to become professional champions? And I'm pretty sure that's the case in a lot of these sports.
Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder because every medal is equally hard for me, but everybody else's expectations rise, right? And so the 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing. I'm doing...
Just so you know, I'm a little sick, you guys. I caught a cold yesterday, so if you hear me sniffling and stuff,
doing things that quite literally have never been done before. And so I think that is more than good enough. But thank you.
Yeah, God bless you,
Olympic
man.
gold medalist Eileen Gu, who won 3 in Milan and has 6 total in her career.
She got 3 gold medals, right? The other 3 are probably silver or bronze, or 3 silvers. And they acted like because she doesn't have 6 golds, she has 3 and 3. Like that's some sort of loss. You know what it is to be a 6-time medalist in the Olympics? 3 gold and 3 silver. People are crazy sometimes. Like I don't understand how people, the logic, the common sense. It's and it's not everybody. There's good people out there, like my homegirl Barbara. But yeah, there's good people out there, but there's also really ridiculous people out there that need to think before they speak and not get mad when somebody proves that they're wrong, and rather than say, you know what, maybe you're right, they try to justify their ignorance and come with some nonsense about why they're right. How about you just admit you're wrong instead of continuing to look stupid?
The attacks are depressing as much as they are ill-founded.
And she's extremely bright. She went to Stanford. But if you listen to her post, participation interviews, she's insufferable. She is.
While people find him insufferable, you understand what I'm saying? Who is he to say that she's insufferable? You know, she's younger than him. You know, they're not on the same wavelength, you know. And to be honest with you, I'd rather hear her than him. Logically.
It's hard to listen to. But then again,
And then you see his cheerleader laughing, like, you know, he's not he is not gonna be where he doesn't laugh, or he, you know, pushes back on what he just said. You know, that's his that's you know, that's his co-host. He's gotta, you know, agree somewhat. I would have been like, you're wrong, Boomer.
it's an individual sport by an individual person talking about herself, as opposed to talking about her teammates or the support that she receives.
I mean, you
I
sent
sent
me
you one yesterday.
if
you listen to her,
I
you're like,
can't argue
what?
it. I can't. I mean, but how about that question that woman asked? By the way,
I just seen your comment right there. Yeah, listen, 4 years, man. It's only every 4 years. Thank you too for saying get well soon. That's what's up. You know, I appreciate that, Bubbles. You know, but yeah, another thing, let me highlight this one too. Yeah, they train for something that's coming in 4 years. That's deep. That's crazy. You know, people train to play in seasons and stuff. You know how nerve-wracking it is for you to finally arrive at that thing you've been training 4 years for, and then play against the whole globe or compete against the whole globe. Much respect to all the Olympians out there, man. I don't know all of you personally, but we're talking about your how you do it with the Olympic sport. And much props to all you guys, all you Olympians out there from every country. You know.
They didn't ask her about the communist government of China.
well, of course not.
Rather rich, these two doofuses would talk about being insufferable when we hear what comes out of their fat, aging mouths.
Shout to Rick Strong. That's my guy right there.
As young women, I think it is easy to doubt. And I mean this as in like instilled, self-instilled self-doubt, but also maybe external subtleties and like little micro things that make you doubt yourself. And over
She doesn't sound, you know, unintelligent at all. She's saying things that make perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? She's talking about, that's another thing too. You think a woman or a man can compete in these sports and be unintelligent? You know, like you have to see all the aspects that the sport you're competing at contains, and she's a master at that. She's far from unintelligent, and when he called her insufferable, he sounded insufferable.
time make you afraid to try. That's why we see rates of young women participating in sports drop off precipitously between the ages of 11 and 14. And so as far as trusting yourself, the power of sport is unparalleled because it is evidence over affirmation. It's, you don't tell yourself, oh, I can handle the pressure. Oh, I'm so great. You do it time and again. And another thing, I said this earlier in an interview, I said, sports are really honest because you can't lie to yourself. You know when you stayed late and other people weren't there. You know when you showed up early and other people weren't there. You know when you gave 100% in training day in, day out for months. And so it's not about, at the last.
Insufferable. I like her. She's not only not insufferable, she's likable. And she sounds very intellectual. You know what it is? People can't cross. There's old people and young people, and it's vice versa. Young people can't understand old people because they don't want to, or whatever. And old people can't understand young people because they don't want to or whatever. But there are people that are smart enough to know that you expect something from a certain age, and there's people that are young that understand that. People that are older have a different outlook on life. You got to be open minded, man, especially regarding a age group that you're not a part of.
Last second, I tell myself a chipper little line and call it a day. It's the fact that I look back on quite literally years, like decade of hard work, of pouring my heart and soul into this sport. And so it's trusting myself, but it's building that trust every day. And so that's a big reason why I encourage more young girls to get into sports, because I think that the power it has to build and instill that confidence in people is a really special and unique form.
Yo, women are rolling up in sports, bro. I've been trying to tell people for a long time. My old videos are way worse than my new videos. I mean, it's still me, but like I just got way better with the editing, with the commentary. It's become more natural. But if you go back to those old videos, I say certain things that are relevant in the now. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to have a job in the next 5 years, these are the
That's what I was saying.
AI rules you need to know.
How can you hate on this?
That's what I was saying. That not only are women arriving in sports, it's amazing, And if you look at my old videos, I talk about how the women are gonna come through professional sports. Like, so it's gonna be a wave. And the WNBA, because it was struggling at the beginning. I think actually some of the male athletes, the male basketball players, helped bail out the WNBA and buy them more time to be successful, something like that. Don't quote me on that one. But if you think about, and I know about basketball, even female basketball, I know about sports, period. But Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins, these are all girls that are gonna bring fame to female basketball, and there's more to come. Juju Watkins is the one you really want to watch out for, but Caitlin Clark also. Just Caitlin Clark came out a little bit, earlier than Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins is gonna be coming out, I think, coming soon. Maybe this is her first year. Maybe she don't get to college for another year. I don't know what's going on with Juju Watkins like that. I know she's nice. I seen her play, and these girls in sports, they're amazing, and there's money there. If you're smart, you can invest in some of this, and it's not like to capitalize off the girls, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying capitalize off the girls. I'm saying the women are a smart investment because they're good. I've seen women play basketball, and the step back jumpers, the crossovers, the way they're knocking it down from so far, it's dope.
How lazy are you to not even look at any of this and think, yeah, she speaks from the heart, uplifts other women, and just gets it?
And what I want to say is thank you for the American athletes who represented America and gave their best.
That's right.
And just compare and contrast to some of those athletes, and I won't even dignify them by giving them a name, that train in America, that live in America, that were born in America, who have enjoyed the freedoms that America has given them. And then they don't even have the respect for the country in which has given them so much to represent that country. I wonder why. I can think of about 20 million reasons why. But I noticed at the end, that person didn't get on a plane and go back to that communist country. They came back to the free country, the US of A, who is the best country in the world to give them that opportunity. And just compare and contrast with what we saw with the men's hockey team. They are proud to be an American, and they showed it, and they left everything on the ice. So congratulations to all the American athletes who trained here and have pride in their country.
House Republican Conference Chair Lisa McClain, who represents Michigan, performed this act. probably to try and get on Fox News. It is.
All right, seems like she's not too cool according to Rick Strom. But I decide that for myself. But like I said, I do pay attention to the people that I really respect, and I when I watch them, it sounds like they're coming with sincere, from the heart stuff. I do consider what they say for sure.
Is pathetic.
I think overall, I'm just a pensive person. Like I'm an introspective young woman. Like I spend a lot of time in my head, and it's not a bad place to be. I journal a lot. I break down all of my thought processes. I think I apply a very analytical lens to my own thinking, and I kind of modify it because it's so interesting. You can control what you think. Like you can control how you think, and therefore you can control who you are. And especially as a young person, like I'm 22, so with neuroplasticity on my side, I can literally become exactly who I want to be. How cool is that? Like how empowering is that, right? And so
you got to give her a little room for mistakes. 22 years old is very young, and I'm not even saying she made a mistake. I'm just saying she has a get out of jail free card or two. You get what I'm saying? She should be allowed some grace. 22 years old, man. If that's your child, she's a young woman. If that's your daughter, the young woman on the screen, you know that she's still growing, but she hasn't done nothing wrong so far. She's actually killing it. She's speaking about being positive and other things.
fact is, I get to become every day the kind of person that me at age 8 would revere. Like, I would be obsessed with me today. Are you kidding? I would love me. And I think that's the biggest flex of all time, that you can have like little younger you be proud of you today.
Meanwhile, Goo stands 10 toes down, being proud of herself and her accomplishments.
I certainly think that somebody who grew up in the United States of America, who benefited from our education system, from the freedoms and liberties that make this country a great place, I would hope that they want to compete with the United States of America. So I'm going to root for American athletes. And I think part of that is people who identify themselves as Americans. That's who I'm rooting for this Olympics.
Fox News, however, would see an opportunity. Goo would reply to the Vice President of the United States, playfully stating, "I'm flattered. Thanks, JD. That's sweet." When asked if she felt like a bit of a punching bag for a certain strand of American politics at the moment, this was her answer, quote, "I do."
How we doing now, Barbara? Am I still frozen? I'm hoping that it's good now. All right, my bad, people. Technical difficulties. I just don't want it to come out frozen. I don't even understand why that would be, Let's hit play, though.
So many athletes compete for a different country. People only have a problem with me doing it because they kind of lump China into this monolithic entity, and they just hate China. So it's not really about what they think it's about. And also because I win. Like, if I wasn't doing well, I think that they probably wouldn't care as much, and that's okay for me. People are entitled to their opinions. Yeah, let's be real. This is all posturing and, in a way, psychotic. To say that someone is not as American as you, or because of the values that you represent, is not just dumb, but also shows that you are a flat out imbecile intellectually.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I've seen make this argument? Even today, I saw this clip. Riley freaking Gaines. Why? Because her boyfriend is now on a green card, which, hey, if you didn't suck up to the Trump administration and you didn't make your entire career about eradicating trans people, to quote.
Yeah, I was going to say Riley Gaines is the athlete that's going hard about not having trans athletes. Now, I haven't really put much thought to the issue. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna speak on it now. But it's not like I don't have anything negative, or I don't feel any certain way about anybody's having a sexual preference or if they're going through transition. But like I said, I haven't put much thought, so I'll just stay away from it now. I echo Rick Strom's sentiment a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm on the same page with him to a certain degree at least.
Quote Michael Knowles at CPAC. I don't know if your husband would have been on a green card. I really don't. So I think in a way, pardon the pun, you played your cards right. But
all right, people, we're gonna stop it there. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about trans athletes in sports. I would definitely like to hear what people have to say about that. That's sweet of you right there. We're gonna highlight that one. So hopefully I came back, from freezing up or whatever. But yeah, drop a comment, man. Like I said, I'm gonna do some research and we'll cover it again in the future. You know me, I'm not worried about saying what's on my mind. Yo, Bubbles, you have a good night, man. Much love to you and your family. I'm gonna let you guys go. It's your boy Spank Dog. I'm out of here. She said, now you're moving again. I love that. That's probably the best way to end the show. Letting me know now I'm moving again. I don't know what happened. You know what's crazy though? Yo, Barbara, before you leave, I haven't froze up in months. That's the first time I froze in months. So I think it has to do with me leaving this buddy out right here. Look, it's crazy. I unplugged it to show you. It wasn't plugged in when I started it. I was using Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi sucks sometimes. Anyway, much love, Bubbles. I'll see you later. Have a blessed morning or night, whatever you want to call it. I'll talk to you later. Good night to everybody. Much love, real love. You already know. Yeah. It's probably the what do they call it? The bandwidth. The bandwidth was probably low. All right. God bless, Bubbles. I'll holler at you later.